Everybody, we are doing 45 minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community. And I realize my Bluetooth is not connected, so I am reconnecting. Boom! I should be connected. Hopefully, that works. Let me know how the audio goes. Okay, whew, what time is it? It's 9:01. We do this live every single day to practice a little bit of consistency, to work on our hip mobility, and to work on our side splits. The goal is to build a little community, to make the suffering we're about to do on the floor a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable, so it's easier to actually practice consistency. And hopefully, we get a little bit more flexible along the way. All right? Ugh, I think it's time. We gotta get started. Oh, man. Let's go. Let's do this. We're going to start with our warm up exercises. We got three of them. The first one is hip cars. Hip cars look a little bit like this. We're going to stand on one leg. We're going to lift one leg, the other leg, the only other leg, hopefully, that you have, straight up into the air as high as you can. From here, we're going to try our best to keep the hip in the same spot. We're going to open up that leg directly to the side. Whew. Keep that knee nice and high. Then we're going to rotate this leg so that the ankle starts going up, 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 up. I'm going to rotate my body around so you can see what that looks like. We're here, right? Opening up that thigh, and then rotating the ankle around. And we're going to keep going. Rotate, 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 rotate. Rotate as high as you can bring that ankle. And when you can't anymore and your hamstrings are about to cramp, bring the leg down and back. When you bring it down and back, I want you to flex your hamstrings. I want you to flex your glutes. I want you to feel the stretch here in the hip flexor. Okay? And then that's it. That's one rep. We got 10 more to do on the left side, 10 more on the right side. And it's time to begin. Che, I think I saw your message come in. Welcome back. Someone says, do some bed stretches because I'm lazy. I can't. I got no bed right here. Let's go. Stand up straight. Keep that core nice and tight. And high knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up. Some more. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. For the person who's asking about some bed stretches, you can actually do this with your hands and knees on the bed. And when we do the high knee, you're just trying to lift your knee towards your face, right? When we open it up, you're doing like a fire hydrant, you're like a little dog peeing off to the side. And then when you rotate your leg, you're just trying to stick your foot straight into your ceiling. And then when you bring your leg down and back, you're just trying to stick it more into your ceiling. So it's totally doable if you want to do it, on all fours instead of standing up. Oh, I have absolutely no idea how many of these we've done. I think this is five. We're gonna pretend this is six. Knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's seven. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's eight. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. Whew, hip cars, all about using your muscles to control and get maximum range of motion. So if you're straining real hard, you're a little bit out of breath, you're going and grunting and groaning, making a lot of noise. That is totally normal. You're doing a good job. All right, spin around. Let's go. Other side. Whew. Stand up nice and straight and tall, and high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. Remember, you can always lean against the wall for a little bit of support, a little bit of help with your balance. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. I think that's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. Flex those hamstrings. Flex those glutes in. Oh, man. That is 10 hip cars going forward on both legs. Take a second, shake out your legs, do a little dance, shake out those hips, and we're going to prepare to go in reverse. All right, in reverse, we're doing basically the same movement. However, there's one thing I want to extra emphasize, and that is keeping your core strong so that you don't put a whole bunch of torque into that low back. When we start, our first move is our last move from before, and it is this leg raise, right? We'll bring the leg down and back, flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes. When you get a little excited because the first move, you're like, ha! And you kick that leg back. Oftentimes, we get into a situation where your low back is getting very bent. It happens a bunch of reps because we're doing 10 reps on each leg going in reverse. Your back can get a little achy, can get a little bit uncomfortable. We don't want that. So please don't twerk and try to keep the core nice and tight. All right? Let's go. Stand up nice and tall. Keep the core strong. Hold on to the wall for balance. And let's begin. Back. Side. Ankle up. Oh. Ankle down. Knee. Reversed, right? Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Oof. Knee. That's two. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Three. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's four. Six more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. I think it's six. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's seven. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's eight. Two more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's nine. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 10. Oh, man. Okay. We're 75% of the way done with our hip thrust. We got one more hip to do. Breathe. Sigh out. And prepare your core. Let's get ready to wrap things up. Balance. Use your hand. All right? And flex those abs. Breathe. And let's go. Back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Feel that stretch out here in the hip flexor. Lift that leg directly up to the side. Lift as high as you can. Rotate the ankle up. Rotate the ankle down. Lift the knee and bring that knee forward. Whew. That is one rep. We got 9 more to go. Let's do this. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 2. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 4. 5 more. 6 more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 5. 5 more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 6. Whew. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 7. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. 8. 2 more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 9. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Oh, that is our first warm-up exercise. Those are hip curls. Feel free to do a little dance, shake out those hips, get loose. We're going to get on into our second warm-up exercise, and the first thing we're going to do is chill. We're going to fold at the hips, bring our belly buttons down into the ground. If you have a tight low back, you can just breathe, chill, and relax. Inhale a bunch of air. Exhale a bunch more air. And flop over and try your best to chill. When your low back stops being tight and tense, you start feeling the hamstring stretch build up a little bit, we're probably about ready to move. All right? I want you to bend one knee. I want you to straighten out the other leg. I want you to fold that belly button down nice and deep. From here, I want you to bend one knee, straighten out the other. I want you to keep switching back and forth. You want to feel the stretch in your hamstrings, and you want to keep on trying to fold forward so that you keep the stretch nice and intense. Whew. You might be feeling the stretch a little bit here, just underneath your glutes, and that is because your hamstrings become tendons, and your tendons connect into the bottom of your hips, and that is probably where you're feeling it, the bottom of your hips. All right. Keep on switching back and forth. You might be feeling a little bit of tingliness in your toes, maybe a little bit of a stretch in your calves as well. And that is totally normal. That tingliness might be called nerve stretching, nerve flossing, nerve gliding. And we won't go too deep into that, but as long as you're not being super explosive and powering through each one of these like you're running through a, I don't know, something weird, you'll be fine. All right. Ooh, we've been here for a little bit. We're gonna wrap this up. If you felt like these got easier, fold forward, bring that belly button down, fold, 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 and keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Pop into a little bit of squat. Oh, come on back into standing, and we are done with our second warm up exercise. But we have two more things to do before we're done with our warm up, okay? We got to do some thoracic rotation. Your thoracic spine is basically this chunk of your back that's between your low back and your neck. It's designed to move and bend and twist. Most of us are not doing any twisting. I doubt you're doing much bending to the side either, but we're going to do some twisting right now. These are called thoracic rotations. We're going to get into that position we were just in, where one knee is bent, one leg is straight. We're going to fold our belly button down towards the ground. We're going to take the arm from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across the body to the straight leg, and we're going to push against the outside of that straight leg to help open up our chest, rotate that spine. And when you've rotated, I want you to reach your arm up into the air as high as you can and as far back over your shoulder as you can. I want you to rotate your neck so you're looking at the hand, at least outside of your like peripheral vision if you have to. And when you can't reach any further, I want you to take a small breath in and exhale and reach some more. Oh, that is one rep. If anything feels really crazy, really too intense for you, you can dial it back. You don't have to push as hard. If anything feels painful, stop. That's totally fine. I talk fast, but that does not mean you have to move fast. I take a lot of time to explain a lot of stuff to make sure that people who come in for the first time have enough information to jump right in. That does not mean you have to go as fast as the words that are coming out of my mouth. All right? Whew. Let's go again. This leg bent, this leg straight. Arm from the bent leg side reaches across the body, pushes against the straight leg. Open up that chest. Open, 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 open. Open. Look at that hand with your neck. And inhale. Exhale. Reach on the exhale. Oh, that is officially one rep. We're doing 5 of these in total. We got 4 more to do. Let's continue. Other leg bent. Other leg straight. Arm from the bent leg side reaches across. Open up that chest. Rotate, 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 rotate. Look at that hand up in the air. Reach behind you. Reach, 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 reach. Breathe. Whew. Other side. Bent leg, straight leg. Push. Open. Breathe. That is 2 reps. We got 3 more to go. Oh, if you need to take a break, if you're breathing too much, because I've been forcing you to breathe a whole bunch every single time we rotate, you can slow it down. All right? Bent leg, straight leg, arm across, push. Inhale, exhale. Reach. Other side. That's 3. We got 2 more. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg, push. Open. Breathe. Other side. That's 4. Last round. Take your time. Get a nice stretch out of this, and let's go. Open, 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 open. Breathe. Try another. Inhale. Exhale. Whew. Other side. Bent leg, straight leg. Reach across. Open. Sigh out that pressure in your lungs. Reach a little further. Inhale. Sigh. That is 5 reps. Whew. Hopefully, your spine is more mobile than it's been all day. If this is your first time joining in, hopefully it's more mobile than it's been in a long time. And Oh, your shoulders might be a little bit tired right now because they probably did more reaching behind you than you ever do in your normal life. And if that's the case, that's okay because we're done with anything related to our shoulders. We don't need those anymore. We're going to move on into our third warm-up exercise. It's called the Cossack switch. All right. And it looks a little bit like this. I'm going to demonstrate real quick. You don't have to jump in right away. I will tell you when you can jump in. All right. We're going to get a nice wide stance. We're going to get our foot on our heel over here. We're going to sit into a deep squat on that other leg. We're going to get as low and deep and compact as we can, squish as low as we can. We're going to scoot our butts over to the other side, squish some more, and then we're going to come back. This is not a very easy exercise, especially as you get super deep. So we're going to pre-stretch some muscles. We're going to pre-stretch our ankles, our hips, and prepare ourselves for those positions. All right. What I want you to do is get into that deep squat, as deep as you can. And then I want you to lean forward so that your heels are coming off the ground. All right. When you're leaning forward, you should feel a big stretch in your Achilles tendon and in your calves. And you can poke your calves to double check if they're super tight, if they're super tense, they're probably getting stretched. Okay. From here, I want you to bring your knees to your chest. I want you to just lean forward so that you can get into this really squished position, as squished as possible, and get comfortable-ish here, as comfortable as you can. When you fall here for a hot second, we're going to do a little bit of movement. I want you to do a little gentle wiggle from side to side, do a little dance, do a little shake, shake that butt, um, wiggle your knees around, pretend you're swimming like a little frog. I don't know, just move around. Doesn't matter. As long as your hips are getting some rotation, your ankles are getting loose, we are good. All right. From here, it's about time. I think we're ready to get started with our Cossack switches. All right. What I want you to do is take your arms from whatever position that they're in. Maybe you're still pulling onto your knees. Stick them straight down into the ground. Nothing fancy. You're not going way far forward. You're not going backwards. Just straight down into the ground. All right. From here, we're going to extend the other leg out to the side. Heels down. Toes kind of up. Most important is heels down. This foot right here. Most important step. We're putting the heel down. All right. Not dealing with no funny business. You're putting your foot down. From here, we care about this heel because of stability. There's going to be a lot of movement from side to side. When your heel is down, you're going to be more stable. So get as low as you can while having your heel down. If you can drop super low, great. If you need a little bit more help, you can't get quite as low. If this is the deepest you can get, fine. No problem. This is all part of the process. And we're ready to move on to the next step. We're bringing our hips over to the other side. If you're deeper in that position, you come over to the other side. It might be a little bit harder. If you need help, put your hands down and help walk your hips over to the other side. Once you're there on the other side, try to squish, try to get small, try to get compact, and work those muscles. Stretch them out and come on back to the other side. Stretch, get small, get compact. Whew, that is one rep. Whew, but that is just a demo rep. We're not going to count it. We're going to do 10 more of these, and you got plenty of information to get started. So let's go. Heels down, other heel down, as low as you can get in this position. Use your hands to help you over. Scoot, 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 scoot. Get to the other side. Squish, get compact. Come on back. Squish, compact. That's one. And keep going. If you don't need your hands anymore, great. That's two. Keep going. Ooh, come across, squish, and back, and squish. Ooh, that's three. If you are a little bit higher up, I'm going to demonstrate what slightly higher up might look like. Four, and keep on going. Ooh, five. If you want to make this a little bit more difficult on yourself, you can try and sit up a little bit straighter. Imagine there's like a little piece of string pulling you straight into the sky, and keep going. You might want to stick your arms out in front of you to help counterbalance. That's six. Keep going. Come on over. Squish and back. Squish, and that's seven. Three more. And eight. If the inside of your knees are getting a little achy, they're getting a little uncomfortable from this transitioning that we're doing from side to side, you can choose to come up first, come across, and then sit back and down into that stretch. Then up again, across, and down. It's very useful to have strong inner knee stuff going on. But if your knees are achy, they're not feeling ready for it, you can change up the exercise. All right. This, I think, is number 9. So we got one last one left. Try your very best to get that last rep. Scoot that butt across. Squeeze, get low, and come on back. Whew, that is 10 Cossack switches. I feel like a lot of comments came in through, but I might just be blind because I'm so far away. We just finished our 3 warm-up exercises, and now we're going to chill for a second while we prepare for our stretches. This is a stretching show, and that means the warm-up was intended to help get our blood pumping, get our hips loosened up, get us ready for really good stretches. So don't worry, there's no more aerobics, there's no more cardio. We're not doing 10 more reps of anything. It's all stretching from here. Okay, the first stretch that we're going to do is a hamstring stretch. And the way that we're going to do it is going to look like this. One knee is going to be down on the ground, one leg is extended in front, and we're going to fold forward. This is a really good time to go grab a little bit of cushioning for that knee. All right, it could be your dog bed, could be a decorative pillow, a cushion, yoga mat. If you actually have one, you can just roll it up a little bit, fold it a couple times, stick it on your knee. Dirty laundry, dirty towels, whatever it is, just a little bit of padding for your knee, and we're good to go. I'm gonna grab my mat right here, and we're ready to begin. Drop onto your knees real quick, and take a look at what your hips are doing when your knees are together. I want you to maintain this hip angle for the duration of our stretch. All right. The reason why I'm saying this is because when we extend one leg out in front, we often get into a situation where we start doing front splits. This leg starts shooting way far forward. This hip starts going back. Then all of a sudden, you find yourself at a diagonal. You're no longer facing forward because this hip is way over there. This hip is way over that way. All right. We don't want that. That adds complexity to the stretch, makes it harder to focus on the thing that we do care about, which is the hamstring. Okay. So don't do that. Pull your hips together, get them square. You can bring your knees together to remind yourself what that's supposed to look like. Boom. From here, we are ready to fold. We're folding this belly button down to the thigh. Fold, 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 until your hamstrings are unhappy with you. And then I'm going to rotate around so you can see my body and not just stare at the top of my head. You don't have to do anything. You just chill where you're at. From here, you're feeling the hamstring stretch, and all I want you to do is try your best to relax and try your best to breathe and relax and breathe and relax and let out as much tension in your body as possible. Relax your calves, relax your feet, relax your toes, relax your glutes, relax your low back as much as can be relaxed. Relax and exhale a whole bunch of air while you're at it. Breathe, relax, and it's about to get harder. We're going to inhale, then we're going to exhale, and then we're going to fold while we exhale. All right? When we inhale, for this thing that I'm calling inhale, we're going to take a big breath in, as much air as you can without inflating like a balloon and popping straight up. And then we're going to slowly exhale that air. While we exhale, I want you to really focus on folding the belly button down to the thigh. All right? When you exhale and fold together, it should be a little bit easier than if you were to do it some other time. So give that a try, and let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Your hamstring should be really tight, should be really uncomfortable, should be really unhappy with you. And that is okay. Keep on breathing. Sigh, grunt, make as many sound effects as you need to. It's okay. You deserve it. From here, again, calves are relaxed, feet are relaxed, toes are relaxed, glutes are relaxed, low back is relaxed. Try to just drape yourself over that leg and breathe. When the discomfort starts to go away a little bit, and everything starts to feel almost acceptably okay, we're going to inhale, exhale, and fold some more. All right, let's go. Another one. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Now, you're an even deeper stretch. Or maybe you're not any deeper, but it feels just as worse, or just as bad, even worse. Breathe, relax, and that's it. 30 seconds. Let's go. We're holding this for 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Keep on breathing. Keep on relaxing. Do not hold your breath. Try and drape yourself forward into that leg. If you're feeling a whole bunch of pressure in your knee, you can give it a slight bend. When you bend it, it's going to reduce the intensity of the hamstring stretch. Focus on bringing your belly button and your chest down to that leg. And then when you can't go any closer to that leg, you can focus on straightening out that leg afterwards. That takes tension off the knee, makes it a little bit easier to fold, and gives you the opportunity to choose to straighten out your knee later. Cool? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is our first hamstring stretch. If your legs are very upset at you, that's okay. From here, we'll bring the leg back. We're stacking our knees together, looking at our hips and going, oh, okay, yep, that's right. That's how we line them up. We're going to get the other leg ready for some hamstring stretches. That leg is extended out in front. We're folding the belly button down. Fold, 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 fold. Fold, fold, fold some more. Ah, fold. Ah, and breathe. Ah, relax. Chill. Toes relaxed. Feet relaxed. Calves relaxed. Hamstrings, if they can. Glutes relaxed. Low back relaxed. Drape over that leg. One thing I forgot to mention so far is if you are actively trying to smash your knee into your face and you're feeling a whole bunch of pressure in your neck, in your upper back, you're working too hard. The hamstring stretch comes from you folding at the hips. Everything else is just you wasting your time. You're stretching out other things. And the reality is you probably don't need to round your back more. We sit in chairs, we sit in cars, we sit and mess around with our phones enough that you're probably rounded perfectly enough as it is. All right, so I hope you're ready for some inhale, exhale, fold, because I got no other sentences to fill in the middle. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Bring that belly button down, 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 down. Ah. Breathe. Relax. Chill. Calves. Relaxed. Feet. Toes. Hamstrings if they'll stop. Glutes. Low back. Just relax. Drape over your leg. Breathe. Sigh out that air. Relax. I think we got another one. Do we have another one? Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Bring that belly button down. If you're feeling in your knees, once again, you can give it a slight bend, take some burden off the knee, fold the chest down to that leg, and then slowly straighten that leg back out at the end. That way your knees don't hurt until the very, 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 very end, instead of hurting the whole entire way through. All right? Whew. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Relax as much as you can. If you need to, you can stab your fingers into your hamstrings, massage them, poke them, disturb the muscles, confuse your brain, help it forget how painful this stretch is, and just distract yourself. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. Ooh, come on up out of that stretch. Oh, that was our first stretch. That was our hamstring stretch. If it felt like we spent a lot of time there, that is because we only do 30 seconds of that stretch, or the really intense part of the stretch, and we take our time to get into a really strong, hardcore version of it, so that you're not just wasting your time doing 30 seconds like way up here when you could be way down there. All right, whew, that is our first stretch. I already said that, but my hamstrings are so tired that my brain stopped working. We're gonna move on into our second stretch. It is the butterfly stretch. I'm gonna sit on my mat because it gives me a little bit more friction, so my legs don't slide around as much when I don't want them to slide. you can probably just sit on your floor. But if you have something to sit on that's a little grippier, feel free to use it. All right, what are we doing next? I want you to sit up against a wall so that your butt, your low back, your mid back, your shoulders, your head, knees and toes, that was a joke, are up against the wall. What we're going to do once your back is resting against the wall is bring your feet together and pull your feet in. Okay? Our starting position looks a little bit like this. The goal here in the butterfly stretch is to stretch out your groin muscles. The way you do that is by bringing your knees down into the ground. And I want you to get stronger whenever you're training with me. So I want you to use your outer thigh muscles. I want you to use your glutes to help open your legs. And it is not going to be easy and it's not going to be that fun, probably, but do it anyway. Work on those muscles. Pull your knees down into the ground. If you're not quite sure how to do that, because this is your first couple of times in the live, flex your glutes real hard. And as long as you're feeling a stretch here in your groin, as long as you feel like your knees moved just a little bit down in the right direction, you're probably fine. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay? From here, we're taking our hands. We're applying a little bit of pressure under the knee. And we're going to push straight down. This is why we're in front of the wall. That's because it's easier to push our knees into the ground, and your shoulders are also attached to this arm, so your shoulders are also getting pushed back. Because we have the wall behind us, we're not going to fall backwards, we're just pushing into the wall. That means that the back of your head and the top of your shoulders might be feeling quite a little bit of pressure right now, and that is totally normal. I think we're ready. That's all the information you need. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27. Keep pushing those legs down. Push, 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 push. 25, 24, 23, 22. If it feels like your shoulders are in your ears right now and your neck has disappeared, push those shoulders down. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. If you've been contracting a whole bunch of muscles in your glutes and in your outer thighs, you can relax them now. As you relax, exhale, sigh out that extra tension, and push your legs down a little bit harder with your arms. 12, maybe 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Let the arms go. Let them flop to the side real quick. If your wrists are tired like mine are, you can sort of flop them around like little T-Rex hands. And start wiggling those legs. Start wiggling out that hip. And if you can, start flapping the wings of your butterfly. All right? Flap, 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 flap. If your legs are really not moving, you're just kind of stuck. You're like, ugh, yeah. You can start by shaking out your legs and go, hey, hey, wake up. We got stuff to do. There's another thing to do after this. Come on, come on. Don't hold us back. And hopefully that will wake up your legs and you'll be able to flap the wings of your butterfly. All right? Whew. When your legs are moving, we're ready to move on into our third stretch. It's called the pancake, and it is quite possibly the hardest stretch in this whole entire show. So I hope you're emotionally ready for it because I've given you exactly 3 seconds to prepare. I'm going to get rid of that foam mat and let's get into it. What we're going to do for the pancake is we're going to fold until our bodies go like this. This is your upper body, this is your lower body, and go whoop until it turns into a pancake. And that is really hard. So let's break it down, make it a little bit simpler. We are going to open up our legs nice and wide. If you're feeling pain here at the hips, you're feeling a pinching here, you've gone too far, bring your legs in just a little bit. And from here, we're going to focus on the belly button. Fold that belly button down into the ground. If you can get to 90 degrees, you're doing great. That is our starting position. Whee! Boom. Right here. Okay? The pancake is all about folding further, 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 further forward. And it's really hard. So we want to do a version of the stretch where gravity gives us the most assistance and makes it as easy for us to be lazy as possible. All right, we're not going to be lazy, right, because we're doing the stretch, but we'll be as lazy as we can while suffering. Cool? So what I want you to do while you're folded forward and see if you can open up your legs just a little bit wider right off the bat. Stay in a stable, relatively comfortable position for now. You don't have to go super deep, but Stability is the most important thing here. All right. From here, we're focusing on the belly button. I want you to fold, bring that belly button down. The closer you can get your upper body to horizontal, the more intense you'll feel gravity pulling you down. If you remember anything from physics class and levers and stuff, the longer the lever, the more pressure you're going to feel at the leverage point, right? If you extend your arms, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to feel that stretch get way more intense. If you hold a little bit of weight in your hands and you extend them up, you're going to feel even more of a stretch. And if you're ready for that kind of stretch, I guess, by all means, go for it. Anyways, we're here. Bring that belly button down. Bring it down some more. Fold, 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 fold. If you get into a situation where you feel like your face is too close to the floor, you're going to fall forward. I recommend that you stick your butt back. All right. Right now, our legs are pretty close to just straight up. Right. If you stick your butt back, your legs start going backwards too, and that will help counterbalance. If you want to extend your arms out in front of you, so you can stick your butt really far back, and now we have a really deep pancake stretch. All right. That's it. That's everything. You got way more than enough information to get started. Open up those legs a little wider now that we're ready to begin. Fold that belly button down. Breathe. Exhale, relax. Exhale, relax. Fold. And arms up if you're ready for it. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28. You don't have to extend your arms up the whole time, by the way. I'm not planning to. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Feel free to stick your butt really far back. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Put your hands down. Whew. That is a pancake. If you are quite stuck right now, you can't figure out how to get out of this position, I recommend that you try to wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in. And it might take like a whole nother 3 minutes at this point, but it'll be okay. Well, you can slowly bring your feet in. And when your inner thigh muscles start wanting to work again, you can try to slowly stand up. Oh, and come back into standing. Whew. That is our standing pancake. Is a really hard stretch for two reasons. Well, two main reasons. We're stretching two different muscles that feel like death when you stretch them. The first one is your adductors. All right. These are the inner thigh muscles, and their job is to pull your leg into the center of your body. What we did was let them stretch out, and then we didn't just let them stretch out. We forced them to stay stretched out and hold up our whole entire body weight for as long as I was talking, which was a really long time, right? That is why your inner thighs are really, really unhappy with you. Next, we got our hamstrings. All right. Your hamstrings connect to the bottom of your pelvis, to the bottom of your hips, and they connect sort of just below the knee and just behind the knee. So anytime the bottoms of your pelvis start going up and away from your knee, your hamstrings are going to cry and be very unhappy. It doesn't matter if your legs are together or if they're apart. If you're folding forward, your hamstrings are going to cry. And we did a lot of folding forward. So if your hamstrings feel a little overwhelmed right now, that is why. And that is also why we spent so much time warming up those hamstrings and doing that first hamstring stretch so that you didn't have to suffer as much in this one. But I hope you didn't suffer too much. Anyways, we're moving on. We're moving on to our fourth stretch. We got the option between the figure four or the pigeon. If you have a favorite, if you're a regular, go ahead and hop into whatever you prefer. I'm pretty sure we talked about the figure four last night, so we're going to do the pigeon live today. In both stretches, we're setting up by doing this. We're bringing the leg across the body. We're lifting that leg towards the belly button. Oof. I hope I don't lose balance. Okay, great. I'm not losing balance. From here, we're folding our belly button down to that leg, and from the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. We want to stretch out the muscle here in this side of your hip. Technically, that is a glute muscle, but it's the side of your hip. All right? That's it. That's the whole thing. We're going to get into the pigeon today. So, Come on down onto the ground and let's get ready to go. Oh, I want you to sit down with your leg across your body. All right, sort of like how we were pulling that leg up towards our belly button, except now we get to sit and chill in it. From here, we're trying to fold so that the center of our body sort of goes down towards the center of that leg between the knee and the ankle. And just going wee. Oh, that's it. That's all you gotta do. Fold forward. All right, straightforward. We got this. If you're looking to make life a little bit harder, we got options for that as well. This back leg, you can just have it relax and you can just focus on folding forward and trying to get that center line. All right. But if you've done some yoga, you've got some experience there, you might know that the pigeon can have this leg extended back behind you. And when you extend it back behind you, it requires a little bit more flexibility in the front of your hip, in your hip flexor. If you really want to get into this position, we got a couple of quick tips. The first one is stop standing up so straight and stop standing up so tall. All right, you need a lot of flexibility here because your chest is up this high. If you just lean forward and your body is a little straighter, you don't need that much flexibility in the hip, and you can extend the leg back. Great, great. That is tip number one. Tip number two is you can elevate this front leg. All right, when your front leg is higher off the ground, unless you have crazy flexibility in just the front leg and zero in the back, your hips are going to come up off the ground higher to match whatever you're putting your leg on, right? That means you got more space for this leg to be underneath you. So take advantage, elevate your front leg, lean a little bit more forward, and we're ready to begin with some pigeon. Oh, I'm going to get this out of the way just far enough so I don't smash my head into it later by accident. And let's begin. Again, middle center line in between your pecs. We're trying to match that line in between our knees and our ankles. All right? Fold forward. Your hips are down first. Your chest is coming down afterwards. All right? Don't get your head so low that your hips start coming up into the air like you're bowing. We're not bowing. We're just folding. From here, if you can, if you want to, extend the leg back behind you and breathe. We're exhaling a ton of air to help fold into a little flat pigeon thing. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. I feel like I counted a little bit fast, so I'm going to talk and fill time and then continue. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Do not hold your breath. Keep on taking nice, slow exhales. And sigh out a whole bunch of air. Feel that stretch building in the bent legs hip. All right. In that glute muscle. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Feel free to experiment a little. If you want to make this harder, you can push your feet towards your face. Smell those toesies, and it will hurt a lot more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is our pigeon stretch. Whew. I shouldn't have pushed my foot that close to my face. Not because my toes smell or anything, just because it made the hamstrings feel really, really, really uncomfortable. Okay, we're going to continue. Throw the other leg around. Let's go. Again, we're trying to get that center line. Center line between the knee and the ankle. We're trying to match with that line in between our pecs. All right? Fold. Fold, 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 fold. And you don't have to do this every single time. You can focus on bringing your chest a little bit to the right. You can focus on bringing your chest to your toes. You can experiment, but the center line is just a helping note for beginners. All right? Bring that chest down. Keep the hips low. Extend the leg back behind you and breathe. Sigh. Exhale as much air as you can. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27. Every time you exhale, try to sink deeper into the floor. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. If you just breathed way too much like I did and you're hyperventilating a little bit right now, slow it down. Don't breathe as fast. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. We're done. Oh, that is our pigeon stretch. Oh, pull your leg out from underneath you. Oh, breathe in. That is our fourth stretch. If you're new to the show and you have no idea, we do 5 stretches in total. So we are pretty much at the tail end of this live. And if you also happen to be new, you probably don't know what we're doing. So we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, which means we started 47 minutes ago. And we do this every day to practice the number one important quality, consistency. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you can't follow through, you're not showing up, it's probably not the best plan. So what we focus on here primarily is consistency. I'm trying to build a little bit of community so that we have a whole bunch of people working on the same goal, working on it together, sharing our progress whenever you feel like sharing some progress, and hopefully make the suffering that we're doing on the floor a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable, a little less just pure suffering for the sake of suffering. So, if you like that, if you need help practicing consistency, if you want to work on your side splits, you want to work on your hip mobility, you want to be able to pick up toddlers from the ground and throw them into the air comfortably, that kind of stuff, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back. We're live every day at 9 p.m. And now it's time to get into some side splits. All right. First thing, before we actually get into the side splits, is we're going to talk about safety. All right. I want you to stand right in front of a wall. I recommend usually about 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. And that is because we are going to inevitably get into this position where our legs are kind of wide, our hands are on the floor, we're going to be wiggling, we're going to be squirming, we're going to be shaking, we're going to be trying to get into a deeper stretch, we're going to be like, ah, yeah. And as we do all this crazy movement, at some point it is entirely possible for you to lose balance and start falling backwards. You'll be swimming through the air and you'll be like, no! And then you'll fall backwards. Luckily, because you stood 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall, your butt has smashed into the wall. Everything is fine. You can just do a little hip thrust and back. You're back in your side split, all right? Everything's fine. If you were to get into that exact same situation with nothing behind you and you started going, oh no, ah, and you, oh, fell on your butt, it would probably really hurt. And it would probably make you not want to continue, which is the opposite of consistency. And like I said, we care about consistency. So don't fall on your butt. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. And we are ready to begin with some side splits. All right, let's go. Oh, oh, oh man, that fall on my butt like knocked all the air out of my lungs. All right, let's continue. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of that wall. Open up those legs. Take a second to move a little bit, do a little dance, adjust, breathe. If you're feeling a whole bunch of pinching sensation, like discomfort, pain here in the hips, you've gone too far. You can fix that by bringing your legs a little closer together. All right. From here, we're focusing on the belly button. We're folding it down into the ground, and boom, we are in our starting position. If this looks just like the pancake, that is because this is exactly what we did for the pancake. But what we're going to change up from here is we're going to put our hands down on the ground for a little bit of support. If you cannot reach the floor, or if you just don't want to because it's uncomfortable, you can elevate your hands with some yoga blocks with, I don't know, something a little bit more stable than a foam roller, preferably, a stool, a chair, even a coffee table if you'd like, as long as it's not the like $6 IKEA table that might flop over because it weighs a pound. Just not that. Anything else is probably fine. Okay, from here we are going to do the most important part of this whole entire show. We're going to externally rotate this leg. What that does is it rotates the thigh bone so it does not smash into some of the parts of our hips. That means your hips won't hurt. Remember how when we were standing still and I was like, if your hips hurt, bring your legs together? We don't want that. And if you rotate the leg the right way, it won't happen when we get super deep. All right, that's what we're doing. So we're going from this position where your feet are flat on the ground. Your knees are kind of pointed forward in front of you. We're going to rotate that leg back, boom, so that your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. This puts a lot of pressure on your heels. So if you need to take a second to grab a little bit of foam or a flip flop or something to put under your heel for a little bit of protection, go ahead and do that. If you don't need it, we're ready to move on. We got to do the same thing on the other side. So this leg back here cannot get lazy. It also has to rotate. So we're going boom, heels down, toes up, knees up, and we are in position. As high as you are, we are in a side split. All right. At this point, the only thing holding us back from a deep side split is our muscles. So do a little wiggle from side to side. Push your legs out. You don't have to keep your legs as close together as mine if they are able to go further. I need to keep them in frame for the camera for you guys to see that my legs are rotating. You don't have to show me anything, so you can go as deep as you want. All right. From here, we're gonna keep on doing a little wiggle from side to side. We're gonna do a little dance, shift our weight back and forth, and see how low we can drop our hips. If you are still using a stool, great. If you're still using a coffee table, great. Relax, lean into it, let your arms carry you, and when you feel like you can't get any deeper, maybe bend your elbows just a little bit, have a little bit more weight in your legs. Cool. From here, if it feels like I'm going really deep, I promise this is the exact same setup I've been using since I was way higher up in the side split. You don't have to go deeper than what you're capable of right now, and I'm going to continue because I can. All right, we are doing more wiggling from side to side. Keep going gently. When you feel like you've hit your max, when you're no longer moving, you're not going anywhere, you can probably come back like a fraction of a percent. Just come back a little bit so it's a little less uncomfortable. We're going to explore some range of motion here. What I want you to do is I want you to keep your hands in front of you like you were when you were putting your hands on the stool. All right? When your hands are in front, you should be feeling more of a stretch here in the inner thighs. You can, however, walk your hands back towards your groin so that you're sitting up almost a little bit more straight. And when you do that, you might start feeling a stretch in your hamstrings instead. Or maybe you'll still feel it in the inner thighs, but you'll feel a lot more in the hamstrings. If your butt is really close to the wall, you can almost walk your hands back until your butt is resting on the wall, and you can sit in this straddle position where you're going to be feeling mostly in your hamstrings. All right? These are two stretches you can do from this position, from this setup, and you need a little bit of both to finally get your side splits. So feel free to do a little bit of both. Cool? All right. We're holding this for 30 seconds. Get that last little bit. 30, 29, 28. When I said get that last little bit, you can go as deep as you can now. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. I think I've seen a whole bunch of messages popping in the chat. I'm a little too far away to be able to actually read them, but I will get to them at the end because I want to make sure we get through the meat of the workout first so everybody can go do whatever else they got to do for the rest of the day. And then if you have questions and comments, I will happily stay on until they are all answered. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and I think Jay is sending a ton of emojis. 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh! Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in underneath you. I know we hung out in that position for a really long time, but hopefully, when I said you can come back in a fraction of a percentage point, you actually did come in just a little bit, so you weren't in the deepest possible stretch and holding that for a whole ton of time. Oh, the rest of them will be a little bit easier and a little bit faster, I promise. All right. We just put a whole bunch of tension in our hips and in our legs. And if you're new to the show, you don't know this yet, but we do 3 rounds of 30 seconds of the side split. It's not like everything else where we just did 1 round of 30 seconds and we called it a day. So what we got to do in between each of those rounds is we're going to shake out our legs. We're going to relax as much tension as possible, get loose, and get back into side split number 2 and side split number 3. So what I want you to do is I want to you to stand and put most of your weight in one leg. I want you to flick the other leg around. I want it to be loose. I want it to be jiggly, floppy, shaky, wobbly, whatever word you want to use for relaxed, shakety, shakety. What I want you to focus on, if you had to focus on one thing, was make sure your ankles are relaxed. All right? Going forward, going side to side, just letting them do whatever the heck they want. And that's because all the muscles above your ankles are used to control them, right? You flex the foot, you point the toe, you do whatever left to the right and circles and all that stuff. When your ankle is relaxed and it's just flopping wherever it wants, all the muscles above it are also just flopping and doing whatever they want. And that's what we want. We want relaxation. We want them to be chill. All right? Other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shake some more. Wiggle some more. Flop some more. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Loose. All right? Couple of seconds should be plenty. You don't have to go crazy with these. Next up, we're going to shake out our hips a little bit, and we're going to develop some control of some muscles. What I want you to do is stand and put all your weight into one leg. Again, this time, your other foot, I want you to put the big toe down in the ground and have your knee slightly bent. And from here, I want you to rotate that leg in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Notice the rest of the body is not moving. The only thing that's moving is this thigh and where it's connected into the hip socket. All right? As you get more comfortable moving and using those muscles, go a little bit faster. Make it a little bit more intense. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 and pick up the pace. Whew. Other side. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down. Knee is bent so that you can see that your legs are going in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. As you get more comfortable with this, you can pick up the pace. You don't have to do this all in one day if you're not comfortable with it yet. If you haven't quite figured out how to control those muscles, that's absolutely okay. As you get really good at this, you can stand up straighter because you don't need to see that your knee is rotating anymore, right? You can just flop around like this and flop, 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 flop. Pick up the pace. The faster you go, the more crazy your quad muscles will just be flopping around like this, and that is proof that you are relaxing. I'm gonna come over to the cameras real quick because I got to close some notifications and solve a TikTok puzzle so it won't kill the live. And boom. Oh no, another one. I have failed the TikTok exam like 3 times. There we go. Boom. Okay. Passed on the third try. Where are we going? Our legs are shaked out. So we're ready to get back into side squat number 2. This one will go a little bit faster. All right. We're standing 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. Usually that's 1.5 footsteps for most people. We are going to open up our legs. Then if you're feeling a pinching sensation in your hips, you've gone too far. So bring your legs just a little bit in so that that pinching sensation is gone. We're going to fold at the belly button. Go ahead and try to put your hands down on the ground for a little bit of support. If you cannot reach, feel free to elevate your hands. Stool, chair, yoga blocks, anything that gets you stable is good. From here, we're going to do the most important part of this whole entire show. We're going to rotate this leg so that our bones don't smash into each other and cause you to feel a lot of pain. So we're going to go from this position where our toes, the feet are flat on the ground. We're going to rotate the leg 90 degrees so that the foot is pointing up. Your toes are pointing up. Your knees are pointing up. Your quads are pointing up, and your heels are now down. Okay? I want you to do that on both sides. So this leg, the foot was flat, the knees were pointing towards you guys, towards the camera. Now they're going boom, pointing up into the air. We rotated it back 90 degrees. From here, you're in your side split. Our thigh bone is no longer going to smash into our hip bones. The only thing holding us back is the length of our muscles. So, do a little wiggle from side to side. Try and get deeper. If you get stuck and you can't go any further, pause. It's fine. No big deal. Keep on wiggling if you can, and breathe. Once you have gotten into this position, your legs are rotated in the general right direction. You don't have to work so hard to point your toes up into the sky anymore. Okay? You can relax the feet. You can relax the calves. You can relax the glutes. You can relax the low back. You can relax the hamstrings if those will relax. You can relax everything. Just don't bend your knees. All right? Just like before, we're going to sigh out a whole bunch of tension in our lungs and hopefully take some of that tension out of our legs at the same time. And we're in position. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. If you've been doing this whole thing with your arms fully extended, elbows locked out, try bending your elbows and see if suddenly that stretch gets way harder. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. At any time, if you feel like you can do a little tiny wiggle and get a little deeper. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. Walk your hands forward, crawl, crawl. The further you crawl, the easier it will be to pull your legs in underneath you and get out of that stretch. Ah, that is our second side split. We're going to come back into standing when you can, and you can feel free to grunt and groan and make as many sound effects as you want. Oh, when you're done wobbling around like a drunk penguin, we're going to shake out our legs and relieve some tension. Same thing that we were doing before. Okay, let's go. Stand kind of ish on one leg and shake out the other ankle. Shake it out, flop it, relax, let it get loose and noodly. We want to be overcooked noodles. We want to be the car salesmanship thing that like does this when there's air blowing through it and it's just flopping all over the place, getting your attention. That's what we want to be. Except they don't have legs and we have legs and we care mostly about our legs. So maybe that's not really the best example. Anyways, we can switch to the other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Noodles, spaghetti, fettuccine. I'm running out of pastas that I can name. Lasagna. Hmm. Tortellini. Anyways, our legs are shaking out. Let's get into some hips. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down on the ground. We're going to shake. And where's the song? How's it go? Shaking. I can't remember. I'm having a massive brain fart. That's okay. Shake your knee. In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. I say shake, but what I mean is we're contracting different muscles to do it. All right. And as you get more comfortable, as you get stronger, as you get more capable, you can pick up the pace, go faster. As you get more and more and more skilled, you can straighten out the leg. You don't need to bend the knee to know that your legs are rotating the way you want them. And shake them out. Shake, 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 shake. Have your quads relax, hopefully, so that they're just flopping all over the place, and your upper thigh is floppy and loose. Other side. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down. Shake, 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 shake. You actually also don't have to shake as much as I'm demonstrating. I just want everybody to have enough time to make sure they get to the exercise, figure it out, and do it. Whew. If you were not able to get into that really intense leg shake at the end where your quad muscles were flopping all over the place, don't worry about it. It's not that important. The movement helps you to relax the muscles, and that is the most important part. Additionally, since we just did all this hip stuff, you should put it to use. You should make it fun, and you can do stuff like this instead. You can do some stanky leg on both sides. You can bring your knees in and out, wiggle, shake. It's the same thing. And if that makes it more fun, if it makes it more enjoyable, makes you want to keep going, then do that instead. All right? We're ready to move on to our third and final side split. Let's do this. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall so that if you start falling backwards, your butt will smash into the wall and not the floor, and everything will be a-okay. From here, we're opening up our legs nice and wide. Not so wide that you're feeling a whole bunch of pain here in the hips. If you are feeling pain, bring your legs in just a little bit, and we're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down into the ground. Put your hands down if you can. If you can't, or if you don't want to, you can use something like a stool to help lift your hands. From here, we're going to do the most important part of this whole entire show. We are going to rotate our legs back 90 degrees. So right now, our knees are kind of pointing in front of us. at the camera for you guys. And our feet are flat on the ground. What we're doing is rotating the whole leg so that the heel is down, the toes are pointing up, the knee is pointing up, and we're going to do that on both sides. Boom, heel down, toes up, knees up. From here, the only thing holding us back is our muscles. We are in a side split, so take your time, breathe, chill, do a little wiggle, get a little bit deeper. Go, 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 and oh, breathe, relax, chill. See how low you can go. This is not easy. Take your time, chill. When everything feels way too tight, try to breathe. Exhale a whole bunch of tension out of your lungs. Relax. If you were flexing your feet real hard to bring your toes pointing up into the sky, because I was talking about your toes pointing up, your knees pointing up, your heels down, you can relax those feet. You can relax your calves, you can relax your quads, you can relax your hamstrings, your glutes, your toes, your feet. I don't know if I've started repeating stuff. Relax. Breathe. Experiment with sitting back against the wall so that your butt is up against the wall and you're sitting up a little straighter. This will be more of a hamstring stretch. If you walk your hands a little bit more forward and your hips rotate with you, so now your knees are kind of pointing up into the air at a diagonal, but they're pointing the same direction as your head. Your knees and your head have to be lined up, all right? Then you're going to feel more of a stretch here in the inner thigh muscles. And the side split is a lot of inner thigh muscles. So focus on that for a little bit. All right, that's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. We're wrapping up. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We're almost done. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Pull your legs in underneath you. And we are done. That is our third and final side split. All we got left for the show is we're going to shake out, relax, get our legs loose. We're going to do a couple of quick joint checks, and then we'll be done. All right? Oh, take your time coming back out of this position. Oh, wobble, wiggle. I saw a message come in. Oh, it went too fast. Can't see it. All right, moving on. Let's go. Let's shake it out. When you are sort of functioning and moving, just move a little bit more. And stand, put all your weight in one leg, shake out the ankles, shake, 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 shake out the leg. We have broken down a lot of the shaking and the manipulating and the rotating into lots of different pieces, but it's totally fine if you want to start mixing things and combining things and start shaking out and going a little bit more crazy. All right, don't go so crazy that your joints are going all over the place and you're hurting yourself, but you can pick up the intensity, you can pick up the floppiness, and you can pick up the shaky, shaky, wobbly stuff. All right, you're overcooked noodles. That is what I want you to be. So if you want to combine that rotation that we usually do for the hips, for the thighs, into the leg shake, you can do that. You can start flopping around and going crazy. All we care about is that your leg muscles are relaxed, that you're in control of your relaxation and your tension, at least a little bit, and that you can do whatever else you got to do, right? So once you've shaken out your legs on either side, add in the hips if you didn't combine them, and do some stanky leg because it's fun, because it's the end of our life. So you should at least have fun with it, right? We're working on our hip mobility. The least you can do is put it to work and practice the dance moves. It's Friday night, right? Enjoy. Practice now. Go out later and whip out the moves. Let's go wrap things up. We're going to do some joint checks. I want you to do some hip circles. Oh, and slowly work through that hip range of motion. Oh, right after the side splits, I tend to have a whole bunch of tension right here in the left and right side of the hips. I like to spend a little bit of time just chilling in it, feeling that tension. Sometimes I lean extra and get a little bit of an oblique stretch at the same time, and chill. All right, once those hips are feeling a little bit better, do a quick high knee on either side. If your knees are coming up, you don't have to worry about it. You can just keep on going. From here, we're going to do a deep squat into some calf raises, and then we'll be done. All right. So what I want you to do is keep your feet relatively close together, straight down from your hips, and I want you to pop into a bit of a squat where you're trying to bring your chest down to your knees. All right. From here, I want you to feel like you're leaning just a little bit towards your head direction, and your toes are working really hard, gripping the floor to keep you from falling forward. That's what we want. When you do this, it tends to be the case that the arch of your foot is also tense and working, gripping down on the ground. And that's what we want. From here, I want you to try your best to push your knees towards your toes, even past your toes if you can. If you cannot, it's okay. Just work for that general direction. When that happens, your Achilles tendon should be feeling a nice stretch. You should be feeling a nice stretch in your calves. You can poke them to double check that they are super tense because of that stretch. And your quads are probably crying because they're like, hey, you gonna finish with this anytime soon? We're almost there, I promise. You can put your hands down now so that your fingers or your fingertips are down. I want you to bring all of your weight up into a calf raise and come on down. And all the way up and come on down. Imagine your weight is coming up and being centered between your big toe and your index toe. And work on those calf raises. Do as many as you'd like. You can do 3, you can do 6, you can do as many until your calves cramp. When you're done with those, you can come back up into standing, and let's talk about why we just did that. When we leaned forward and we forced our toes to grip into the ground, we forced our feet to really get into the game. Our toes are working, our arches were working. We forced our Achilles tendon to get a nice stretch, our calves to get a nice stretch, and forced our joints to accommodate and figure out how to balance all of that, right? Same thing for the knees, the hips, the low back, all those joints, that main up and down movement pattern. We forced the little muscles in the feet, the bigger muscles in the legs, the foldy stuff in the hips to work well together. So if you were to pull off most of that, you were able to do most of it pretty decent, you're probably doing good. All right, that is our joint check. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the live. I hope you're feeling a little stretchier, a little looser, a little bit more badass in your side splits, and I hope to see you again soon. And we are live every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, practicing consistency, building a little community, making the suffering that we do on the floor a little bit more fun, a little bit more bearable, a little less just plain suffering for the sake of suffering. If you like that, make sure to come back, make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe. And, uh, oh, yeah, it's almost the weekend. So, Saturday and Sunday morning, we start the day with a 9 a.m. live. And that means we'll be back real soon in like 10 and a half hours. So make sure, if you'd like to start your day with some stretches, to come back for that. That happens Saturday and Sunday mornings. So just the weekends. The rest of the week, actually every single day of the week, Monday through Sunday, our live is at 9 p.m. and that doesn't stop on the weekends. So on the weekends we do the 9 a.m. and we do the 9 p.m. It's a double fun bonus time. So if you want, feel free to come in for those. If it's too much, your hamstrings are crying, feel free to not come in for all of them. Pick one, skip one, do 2, skip 2 days. Do what you gotta do. All right, that's it for me. Oh, I'm gonna get off my knee so that it doesn't hurt, and I'm gonna crawl over to the phones so that I can take a look at the chat because I have not been over here in a little bit, and by a little bit I mean at all. Lulu, like the live. Hey Lulu, welcome back. Soul in Evolution says, thank you. You're very welcome, Soul. Thank you for. Soul in Evolution asks, do you sell a routine to grow muscle? I do not sell a routine to grow muscle. Are you asking this question because you'd be interested in buying, or are you like a marketer trying to sell me marketing services? What is it that you're interested in? Let me know. Delia K asks, what stretches do you recommend before glute workout day? Ooh, okay. So there's some interesting science about how if you combine stretching with your glute exercises, it actually helps to stimulate even more growth. Um, and as I'm saying that aloud, I'm starting to doubt myself because I obviously did not do nearly enough homework on this beforehand because this is a, you know, unprepared for a question. But uh, if you're going to do glute day, you can probably not start with stretches. You can probably start right away with just your regular exercises, but at a warm up level, so less intensity to get your muscles warmed up. And then you can probably wrap up with your stretches. Usually, if you did a whole bunch of pigeon, that would probably be really good. It really depends on which muscles you're working out in your glutes. You just stretch out those exact muscles, and it should help. You don't have to get fancy with it. So, since you already talk about glute day, I imagine that you know if you pull your knees to your chest when your glutes are super swollen, they'll get a little bit of a stretch, and you can do the inverse of whatever it is that you're doing for your glutes. Cool. All right, let's continue. Do you group muscles and firm legs and around buttocks? Right. Wait. Do you group? Oh, hold on. I gotta scroll a little bit further back because it feels like there's a bunch of questions that are related to each other, and maybe I'm wrong. Okay, hold on. Let me scroll back down. Scroll back down. Scroll back down. Delia says the last one is tough. The side splits are definitely tough. They are not easy at all. Um, but hopefully you had some fun doing them and you learned some stuff about like hip positioning because I really try to emphasize that hip stuff to help us get into deeper side splits without your hips hurting. So, Evolution asks, do you group muscles and firm legs and arms and buttocks? Right. I have absolutely no idea what this sentence or what this question is asking. Do you group muscle and firm legs and arms and buttocks? Do you group? Yeah, I'm gonna have to give up on that question. I don't know what it means. Let's see what else we got. Traveler Roxy says next one is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Absolutely. Coco 2.0. He does this live daily, so definitely come back. Yes, I think I saw that. Somebody said they missed the live. Don't worry. We happen to do this live every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern because the most important thing that we care about is consistency. Okay? You can have the best plan, but if you can't follow through on the plan, it's not really that useful for you. Okay? What we care about beyond the most effective stretch, which I'll be upfront with you, this is probably not the fastest way to get your side split. But if somebody gave you the fastest way to get your side split, you probably also wouldn't do it. Right? So we try to do this live every single day in a way that's fun, that's entertaining, and we try to keep the show relatively simple. So if it's your first time, you're like, oh my God, there's so many different things going on. But after a couple of days, you'll be like, okay, this is the pattern, this is the groove, this is all we do. And hopefully you'll find that it's straightforward and you can just hop in, do the stretches, get out, feel good, be entertained a little bit by me, and slowly make some steady progress, right? I have personal experience. I've wanted to do the side splits for 15 years, and every pretty much like New Year's Eve, I'd be preparing my like 3 hours of YouTube videos where I'm like researching all the moves that I'm gonna do, exactly how I'm gonna do it, and how I'm gonna do PNF, and how I'm gonna contract the muscles and relax the muscles, and all the cool ways to make sure that I get more flexible. And then I get sore, and then I'm sore for like 3 days, and then I start missing a whole bunch of days, and all of a sudden it's halfway through the first month of January, and I have not done more than like 2 sessions. And then 6 months later, I've done a total of 2 sessions, and then I'm like, oh, I should really work on these again, and I feel guilty the whole entire time. So if that sounds familiar, if that sounds like you, you probably need something that's more focused on consistency rather than the best, most effective, ultra fast version of getting flexible. And that's what we got here. We sit here every day doing some stretches, trying to be as entertaining as possible so that we can suffer a little bit less, at least emotionally, and hopefully make a little bit of progress along the way. All right. Whew. Okay. Little Blizzard over on YouTube says, I don't have a question. I just found your channel today. Excited for and appreciate your user-friendly content. Thanks. Thank you. That's awesome. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being on YouTube. YouTube is definitely a little bit slower. Over on TikTok, there's still 165 people on the live. So uh, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you engaging in the comments because it definitely helps bring my energy up. Cool. Hakuchu waves. Thanks, Hakuchu. All right. Alexander's back, and Rose says thank you, buddy. Thank you. All right. Let's go. I'm gonna scroll through some more comments. I'm going in reverse order a little bit, and if it's not a super like time sensitive question, it will probably still make sense, but uh, we'll see how it goes. Scroll, 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 scroll. I have not been doing much reading of the chat while the stretches are going on, and that is because I want to make sure, because this live is about consistency, I want to make sure that the people who are here, who have been here for a while, are able to get through the live and get through the moves as fast as they can so that they can go do the other things they got to do in their lives. Right? I still do a lot of explaining, and I try my best to make sure that everybody who comes in for the first time has enough information to get going with us and get started with us. But I try to save the questions and interacting with the chat for the end so that if people need to get their exercise done and go and be, adults and stuff, they can go do that. Che says he has, oh, talking about me. Che says he has a YouTube with the same name and goes over the older live stream and Instagram too. Ooh, what are you responding to? Scrolling, 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 scrolling. I cannot find a relevant comment. But I will recap. Josh says finally caught up. Welcome back, Josh. I have a YouTube channel if you're on TikTok, and I have a TikTok channel if you are on YouTube. We do the live simultaneously on both platforms. There's a phone right here. This one is TikTok, and there's a phone right here. This one is YouTube. And on YouTube, because it's really easy, all of the lives that we've done that didn't get like crazy internet weird difficulties or something is uploaded over on YouTube. And so if you want to watch an old episode for some reason, because I said something really funny that you can't forget and you just have to find that episode, I can't imagine that actually happens, but that's an example of a reason to go find an old live. Uh, you can go find them under the playlist called Live Sessions over on YouTube. The username is the exact same as on TikTok. It's at splits on the side. And you can also go back and look at how much less flexible I was when those lives started. I think I looked this up pretty recently. We've been going for 8 months on YouTube and TikTok at this point. I think the first piece of content posted over on YouTube was like in July. And yeah, feel free to go check that out. Okay, I have been scrolling a while. Oh, we got another question. We got another question. We got another question. Abrin asks, can you please show the first three? Abrin, are you still online? Let me know. If you are, then I will go through the first three warm-up exercises real quick for you. If you're not online, then I won't. I'll just go back to the bottom of the chat. Dahlia says, thank you. Have a good night. You're very welcome. I hope you enjoyed. Devi Balu asks, I will the stretching for the squat. Thanks a lot, can be blessed. Oh, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Sorry, YouTubers. My app has crashed, and I'm not sure quite why. But it's over. We're wrapped. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. We are live again in about 10.5 hours for our 9 a.m. live. That is 9 a.m. on the weekends, 9 a.m. Eastern. That is 10.5 hours from now. So if you're in a different time zone and it's not 9 a.m. Eastern for you, it's 10.5 hours from now. All right. That's it. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you're feeling stretchy, feeling loose, feeling comfortable, because